Hey guys, Noel here, and Santino, and Peter.
Hey guys.
Alright, and since we've got some time today, I thought it would be fun for us to do a video game review for the video game section of the YouTube channel. You know, one of our favorite things to play in the game room is the Mountain Dew Xbox, which we've referenced from time to time. And I told you all that my friend is someone who got it for me. Well, what friend is that? It's this friend right here.
It is
Peter
me.
Right here. That's it.
It was me. It cost me 660 bottle caps back in 2004.
So wait, Peter, now you kind of gamed this system. Is this correct? You had access to bottle caps.
Right. At the time, I worked on a bottle return center.
Uh-huh.
And so, yes, I did drink my fair share of Mountain Dew.
Uh-huh.
And what I would do is every time I bought like a 12-pack of it, a 12-pack had 5 points on the cardboard box.
Uh-huh.
And all the bottles had like 1 point.
Uh-huh.
So every time that the bottle machine was full, I would just open up the machine.
That is fantastic.
Take out all the Mountain Dew bottles, take off all the little orange caps, and I'd take them home and put them like a giant box. But the only thing was, like, you'd have to enter them in on the computer.
Uh-huh.
But the video game systems wouldn't always be available. They only gave away like 5 that year.
Uh-huh.
So you could always get like a Mountain Dew jacket, which actually I probably should have gotten. That'd be pretty.
No,
sweet.
you shouldn't. You're better off getting the Xbox.
So like,
Because I'm happy I have this now. It's awesome.
right? Yeah, I was gonna say the jacket wouldn't be the same. But I'd get out at random times, get on the computer, and be like 7 a.m. on a Thursday morning. They had the Xbox available, and so I'm like, quick, somehow find a credit card that I could use to pay the $9 shipping and handling.
That is awesome. So wait a second. So you guys you used your work time to monitor the computer and accumulate the bottle caps.
No, we didn't have fancy computers at work.
Well, still, it's awesome that you had a Cerebro-type computer constantly monitoring the Microsoft website. Hang on, buddy. Daddy's got to hold the phone, because now that we've had a little history on the Mountain Dew Xbox and know where it comes from Daddy's buddy, the three of us can review one of the best games on the original Xbox, and that is Soul Calibur 2. Right, we just had Independence Day, which is all about history. And as we all know, is Soul Calibur. This transcends history in the world. A tale of souls and swords eternally retold. Now, the cool thing, it's Soul Calibur 2 for the Xbox.
I have a new phone.
We're making a video. Making a daddy video for the YouTube channel. Now, the cool thing about Soul Calibur 2 is that when this game came out, there were 3 major consoles, much like there are today, right? So we had the Xbox, the PlayStation 2, and the GameCube. And now, let's not turn on the GameCube, buddy. We're not using it right now. But we can later. So anyway, the GameCube had the exclusive character of Link from The Legend of Zelda. The PlayStation had the exclusive character of Heihachi from Tekken. Don't turn it off. Yeah, it's only Soul Calibur 2. And the Xbox had Spawn from Image Comics and Todd McFarlane. What's up, little man? You want to go hang out with Mommy? No, it's okay. Don't be scared of Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur 2 is actually the 3rd game in the Soul Calibur series. The first one being Soul Edge, which was on the original PlayStation. Then Soul Calibur, which was on the Dreamcast. And then once the Dreamcast sadly went away, we got Soul Calibur 2, which at the time was regarded as absolutely one of the best fighting games ever, and it is very, very good. Soul Calibur, again, sword fighting, 3D fighting, a bit like Tekken with swords and some more throws.
So
We're not playing Soul Calibur 5, but
it's kind of like how Rambo was First Blood.
Yes.
And you had First Blood Part 2 Rambo.
Yes.
Then Rambo 2 and Rambo 3, and then whatever one came out.
And then regular Rambo. Then like the 4th Rambo was just Rambo.
Right.
No Calibur 2.
We gotta play Calibur 2, buddy. We gotta review something good on the Mountain Dew Xbox, because the guy who got us the Mountain Dew Xbox is here, giving us this rich, storied history of how we got this fabled console. So, let's actually hit start here.
Soul Calibur.
By the way, it took 3.5 months of delivery.
Peter, thank you for your work. You've served your country valiantly. We're going to play the arcade mode on this here. It's okay, buddy. Look at all the cool people. Now, I have unlocked more people, maybe all people, for my PlayStation 2. It's been a while. But I have not played this as much on the Xbox because I did not get this Mountain 2 Xbox. Hold on, buddy, it's okay. Until Peter decided to give it to me, and the black Xbox I had is having some disc spinner issues. But for the purposes of this review, are you playing with Mega Man? Be careful with the remote. I'm tempted to be Nightmare because he's Siegfried, and Siegfried's my favorite character. But I think we have to be Spawn because he is the character exclusive to the Xbox version. Peter, do you ever read much Spawn when you were in elementary school, high
I do remember
school?
Spawn, yes. And then I remember See, I always still like the movie Spawn.
John Leguizamo was in that, right?
Yes,
He was
the 1997 underrated classic Spawn.
A lot of good movies came out in '97.
Oh, yeah.
I personally was a fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin.
Did you know that was originally supposed to be Patrick Stewart?
That is actually better casting. How the heck do you go from Patrick Stewart to Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted it, and he was a more bankable star for Warner Brothers at the time. But he's also the guy that wrote his own puns.
Well, I don't care what anyone says. I'm okay with those puns.
Right, like "Ice to see you."
Yeah, ice to see you.
That's him in his most Rainier Wolf Castle.
Careful with that, buddy. I am 1,000. Wow, come on.
But could you imagine Patrick Stewart, Mr. Freeze? Like, just take a minute and
That would be more like Mr. Freeze, I would think, though, because Mr. Freeze is kind of cultured and
it's
thoughtful.
not too late for them to do that.
No, I know. I had zero problem with anything in Batman. Come on, buddy, not cool. You just ejected the game. I had zero issue with anything, Mr. Freeze, the costumes, the casting. I was cool with all of that. My problem, however, was the script was a pile of hot garbage. That made, I remember sitting there, and as a 13-year-old, I was thinking to myself,
I don't know, I saw the theater twice.
Yeah, this is not okay. This is just at the time, it's you see anything, Waterboy or Armageddon or whatever, oh man, this is the best movie ever, because, of course, Waterboy was, Gone with the Wind at the time. But,
right, absolutely.
But,
Citizen Kane.
Yeah, Citizen Kane's a better analogy.
It's completely inspired by Orson Welles.
Absolutely. There's...
Xbox.
Yeah, we're gonna play the Xbox, buddies. We gotta review this game. So we got some Spawn gameplay. So let's actually check out Nightmare here, who is so interesting story, Peter. I don't know if you know this about Soul Calibur. No, it's okay, buddy. We'll play something else a little later, okay? Remember, we gotta share. Remember, Daniel Tiger, sharing with you is fun for me too. See how we can relate children's nursery rhymes to this, very violent video game here. Well, you may be done with the Xbox, buddy, but Daddy's not done with the Xbox. Do you want to play something else by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to be very careful and play with the Neo Geo Pocket Color? Okay. Peter, do you want to take a shot at this game?
I'll take a shot.
Go for it. Now, Peter, has it been a while here?
Yes. About 15 years.
So now the cool thing about this game, though, is you've got a variety of attacks you can do, but it's very intuitive. I think it's a very fluid gameplay. You got your kicks, you've got your varying slashes, and you've got a block button, and it's accessible in the sense that you can be mashing some buttons and starting to thread some momentum together. But once you start to get a feel for the mechanics, it's actually pretty darn deep. Because you start figuring out, how your character moves more, what your character can and can't do. I like Siegfried Nightmare personally, who you're playing as right now, because he's more of a long-range character with a lot of flow, and he does some serious damage. But I find personally that if a fast fighter gets in on you, you gotta go with the kicks because swinging around that broadsword is, a problem. And now, Peter, another thing about Soul Calibur 2 that I like is that this game has got a good arcade mode, good gameplay, but it's also got a really good story to it. Nowadays, fighting games, they don't know how to balance arcade and story, right?
No.
It's either you sit there and just play a bare bones arcade mode, or you have this story mode that takes you 2 hours to beat, and it's not the same experience as, sitting down and, playing the arcade mode and have it being interrupted by cool characters with cool stories kind of thing. So, now, the cool thing about Nightmare is that he was actually Siegfried in Soul Edge, and he actually ended up killing his father and blocked it out of his memory. And when he acquired the Soul Edge. The Soul Edge is the bad sword. It made him go insane, and he ended up getting controlled by the sword and became a character named Nightmare. But in later games, he realizes what he did, comes to grips with, his badness, repents, and then seeks to destroy the Soul Edge. And the good sword, the Soul Calibur, seeks him out, and he gets redemption by destroying the Soul Edge in Soul Calibur 4, which is a very good game that we have reviewed on the channel. Yeah, you got it, man. So Peter's going up against Keelik right here, and he actually has got a staff inspired by Son Goku of Dragon Ball and the Journey West fame. So Peter's rocking that block button right here. Now the cool thing about this game too is, like Virtua Fighter, yeah, Dragon Ball. You like Dragon Ball? Yeah. The cool thing about Soul Calibur is like Virtua Fighter, which is a game that Santino and I are both fans of. You have ring out options, but you can also KO too. This game more over the top than Virtua Fighter, which is Virtua Fighter is much more based on real combat. I got Santino in a Lex Luger's torture rack over here. So. Yeah. Oh, you're fine. That's how he beat Hollywood Hulk Hogan on that fabled Monday Nitro.
Monday Nitro.
I remember, Hollywood was flipping out backstage, flipping tables.
That was the best
That wasn't supposed to happen. Well, AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite.
Is that when they're doing? Is that live?
Yeah, live Wednesdays on TNT. Wednesday Night Dynamite.
Nitro.
Hopefully it'll
had the edge because Nitro was always live.
Yeah, and they had better people.
Right. Well, yeah, that was the thing. They poached. I wouldn't say they poached.
Well, it was a combination of things. I think, Vince McMahon burnt out a lot of his talent.
Right. He's been known to burn bridges, many in the last 40 years.
And so, when there's options like, hey, come work for us, we'll give you a later schedule and more money.
Basically, anytime another option came up, you have a max exodus of talent from the WWE.
Yeah, old junky beats. Got a pair of ratty studio beats that Santino's got off camera. I put on my giant Homer Simpson toy. All right, Peter.
I'm still rocking the corded AirPods, which I call.
That's fine. I'm totally fine with.
I don't like anything more.
I got to get a new cassette player. Is what I got.
I'd love to get an old Walkman.
I'm looking for my Walkman. I couldn't find it.
I have one. It may work. I got to go check storage.
Unless it stopped working and I don't remember that it stopped working.
It's dinged up because it used to fall off my bicycle.
Yeah, I had a Walkman well through the iPod era.
My Walkman was always better than my Discman. I had a Discman that I could only listen to in one position.
Yeah, Discman.
Stationary.
Because they, what's wrong, buddy? Are you climbing on Daddy? Are you getting tired? Yeah. We're gonna get a nap and a passy. Yeah. Well, after this review, we can. Peter's valiantly. Now, the other cool thing about this game, now we've got to actually, before we had it in Japanese, now we've got it in the English voice actors. Peter, you narrate the video. I'm going to put Santino in his crib.
Okay.
And you use your comedic TV show host personality, and you man the ship.
It has been a long time since I've played a regular video game of this nature. Nowadays, everything moves more toward online, and usually you get your butt beat by a bunch of 12-year-olds somewhere.
Yeah, I hate getting my butt beat by 12-year-olds.
So one of my major things when I buy a video game now is I pretty much prefer to buy anything that doesn't have a majority online.
Or the Seinfeld where Kramer took karate and was bragging about how good he was at it, and then they went to the class and he was beating
a bunch of kids.
But then the kids all ganged up on him in an alley.
He had a passive response to that too.
It's skill level.
It's the skill level that's important.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like the kids all jumped him in an alley, and he was like trying to get away on the ladder, and they dragged him down.
Seinfeld premiered 30 years ago yesterday.
Nice.
I'm through with work.
Yeah, Seinfeld was great.
I don't think I'd heard anything about it for another 4 years.
Seinfeld was like it was like, always good, but once it got to like 93 up through the end, it just kept getting like really like oh, this is really good. Like wow, this is like even like this is like a lot better. It just kept getting like more funny and warped as it.
Well, a lot of that is became the nature of its own success. People realized the formula of the show, and they used a lot of the same formula of jokes to keep it going, and then brought in more guest stars and things like that.
But like the story also started to get more insane too. Like
a lot of it,
Kramer finding the Merv Griffin set in a dumpster and then turning his apartment into.
Well, there was basically a point where it became the Kramer show. People wanted more Kramer.
Yeah, no, Kramer's awesome. You remember when like Jack Hanna was there and he's like, "Where's the camera?"
That's probably one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, you fools! Squirrels and what is it? Squirrels and hogs are natural. Mr. Hanna, this squirrel is a miracle of modern science. So there's Valdo, the evil Swiss guard, who's seeking the Soul Edge, which Siegfried wields, and as we can clearly see, it's taken over half of his body here. That's why he's got that crazy mutant arm. Which, I gotta tell you, for bad guy designs, like Siegfried is
really.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. I mean, like, the other cool thing about this game is the artistic quality is top notch. And, the ladies are nothing to sneeze at either.
This is probably the height of fighting game design. Mm-hmm. Would be this generation.
Especially for 3D fighting games.
For 3D.
Yeah.
I'd say anything that happens like after some like Tekken 3 on through this period and then through this generation of platforms.
Yeah, well, this generation, especially for like one-on-one fighters like this, they really would like max out the content. Like I was playing Tekken 5 recently. It's like the last Namco game we reviewed on the channel, and we will review Lee Carvello's putting challenge for the Famicom, which we totally. That is a very real thing that I will show you off camera.
That is awesome. Was there a Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast?
Yeah, the original Soul
Calibur. Yeah,
let's start. You're gonna die. Yeah, Soul Calibur with Soul Edge PlayStation, Soul Calibur Dreamcast, and then it became multi-platform.
That's what I thought.
And we'll review Soul Edge, which is a very, very good PlayStation game. And I actually like Soul Edge a little better aesthetically because it had a lot of poppy dance music mixed with kind of like classical stuff. Soul Calibur 2 is a fantastic game, but for my taste, this is not necessarily a bad thing, it's got a lot of that's a really good match beater. It's got more of a dark. This has got like a much more darker tone, right? Like
this was what year was this one? Was that 2002?
Let me check the back of the box. This was 2002, 2003.
Okay.
Yep.
That was kind of where we were as a society.
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta remember the socio-political climate at the time.
Dick Cheney was designing the games himself.
Right, Dick Cheney, between heart attacks, was designing video games.
By the end, his heart was mostly...
Do you remember when he was in...
His heart was mostly Legos, by the end.
Do you remember when he was in an undisclosed location?
Yeah.
He was really designing this game.
That's right. In between episodes of 24, he was making Soul Calibur 2.
In a bunker beneath the mountains of West Virginia.
Absolutely.
Where the shadow government, Dick Cheney, was making Soul Calibur games.
What was the plot of that Mark Wahlberg movie with Danny Glover and that? Like, was it called like Shooter or something? Or no, it was like a really good movie. Like,
Happening.
No. It was like Mark Wahlberg was like good because there's so much like crazy, stupid political.
Shooter was a good movie.
There's so much like political division now, but like that movie was like you had this survivalist guy played by Mark Wahlberg, and then you had this like. College radical. I can't remember who played like the more liberal guy, but they basically like joined forces to uncover Danny Glover's evil plot. And then like at the end of the movie, there's like this big showdown, and Danny Glover's there like chomping on a cigar, laughing, and like, and then we said we're gonna destroy the Constitution. And they're all like slapping their knees and drinking scotch, and then see, I have this theory.
I'd like to think that would be Murtaugh kind of turned rogue.
Yeah, no, and that absolutely. In addition to the fact that I have this theory that every Mark Wahlberg movie would be made better if during the climax, where there's like a massive shootout, they played Good Vibrations. And then, like, you know that the movie's going to start getting good when Good Vibrations come on. Like, what was that movie, like, where he was, oh man, he had like a brother who died. Actually, that's like every movie he's in.
Yeah, that's
Ava Longoria was in it, and
you're thinking of Deepwater Horizon.
Ava Longoria was in it.
Don't go near that oil well. No, Donnie, no.
Like, there's this like big like gang fight at the end, and like this was like my wife was watching. It's like this would be so much better if they played Good Vibrations.
The movie you're thinking of is
something Brothers or something.
Four Brothers.
Four Brothers. Yes,
It actually was
yeah.
a decent movie. I believe
That was a good movie, but it would have been made.
Ice Cube, not Ice Cube. Him and Freddie.
Oh no, Andre from Outkast.
That's what it was. I knew there was a rapper.
Yeah. Andre was cool in that movie.
Andre 3000.
Yeah,
was a good actor.
Outkast in general are just good.
Don't sleep on Outkast.
No, Miss Jackson. I still listen to that
They've
song.
remixed that into a current hit.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yes, and that bothers me so. Now
Jadakiss. Not that I'm into toxic rap music, but Jadakiss did a scorching diss track on 50 Cent to that song. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yeah, I remember that.
He ripped him all kinds of new ones with that song. And 50 Cent's such a jerk too.
But there's not that I definitely don't hate that they sample hits for newer hip hop songs.
No, not at all.
But now we're at the point where they're taking songs that were big when we were in high school.
Right.
And
It all depends on how you do it.
True.
I mean, like,
because like any Biggie and Puff Daddy and all those songs.
because
from
Puff
back in the
Daddy
day.
was famous. Puff Daddy was famous for sampling stuff from the 80s.
Yes.
And like people complained about that. I personally loved Puff Daddy's remixes of 80s. Like Victory is like one of my all-time favorite songs. You want me to take over? You want to keep going?
Oh, yeah,
No. Keep going, brother. Like this. I didn't know if you were.
Oh no, I was having fun.
Having some trouble, or I'm a little more. It's been.
So my trouble is I'll get talking and then forget which one I am.
You are the blonde guy.
Right, I've been the same guy every
So
time.
you're clearly not racist.
I don't see color.
You don't see anything. I don't see ethnic characteristics based on phenotypes or whatever the academic jargon is. And normally for these reviews for fighting games, we do things on one round to kind of keep things going a little more quickly. But we've had so much fun doing this, I don't think this really matters. And then Santino, decided he wanted to take a nap and reset the video game in the middle of us playing it. So
One thing I can say is I forgot how good load times used to be.
yeah, it's gotten a lot worse.
Oh yeah, if you want to load a game now, you're looking at a good 10-minute bathroom break.
I just got Metal Gear Solid 5, which we will be reviewing soon on the channel, because we recently got 500 subscribers on the channel. And I am entertaining tens of people across the world.
People.
Oh, now here's a good. So Raphael is seeking the Soul Edge, which is controlling Siegfried here. Alright. Well, we're almost at the end of the game here. Anyway, what the heck was I saying? Oh yeah, like to install Metal Gear Solid 5, it took like 20 minutes.
That's it?
I don't even remember.
I've installed games that just take half over half an hour at least. There's games that have multiple discs for just installation. That's where we're at.
I'm gonna lose it.
The more open the world of a game, the longer installation process.
Yeah, it's some nonsense. Tekken 7 took forever too, and that's a fighting game like this.
Right, that's intriguing that would take that long.
See, this is a character that could potentially give Siegfried trouble. Because Raphael's got that rapier, and I've got this, giant broadsword here. So I like to kind of get in a rhythm here. But again, he's closed the gap here. And I'm not using this Xbox controller.
That was the thing with me. I've never considered Xbox controllers to be the most user-friendly.
They're
and a lot of people do like them.
Especially the original Xbox controller that we're using now.
Yeah, I mean, they are getting... they've kind of stayed very to the same design for the last 15 years now.
Well, they put these buttons down, like, beneath the D-pad, which is, like,
That
really
was the problem with the original generation of the Xbox. Not a whole lot of ergonomics. They're still trying to figure out what an ergonomic controller would be.
I'm gonna lose it. Okay, cocky, Noel.
I'd say my favorite would still always be the simple Sony controller.
Yep. My favorite controller is the Sega Saturn controller,
Okay.
seconded by the PlayStation controller. The PlayStation controller, it's based on the Super Nintendo one,
Yeah, it is.
but
Just
it's
with
got
like a handle.
Yeah,
And then they kind of added on to, I mean, they really haven't added much in the last 20 years other than the Dual Shock. Well, that came out 20 years ago. I mean, they've really added nothing since then.
it's the Soul Edge. So, Nightmare's story here is that Siegfried is kind of like at war with himself, and once he can defeat the sword, then he can regain his humanity. But he's still like being driven crazy by the sword while this is happening. I've been watching. Don't spoil anything. I'm like halfway through Stranger Things 3. You've been watching that?
I have, and all I'm going to say, it is very 1985.
I love it.
And it is very good.
I am on episode 5. Right
I'm on episode 7.
Okay. I really like how let's not spoil anything, but I like how Billy is like the Terminator now.
Right, and what I do love is I'm not always a fan of product placement, but the product placement on this is just top notch.
Yeah, no, I really like it a lot. I like how Hopper's turned into Dad Bod Magnum too.
I don't know if you've gotten to the point now, or they're pretty much gonna in an episode or two from where you are, it basically turns into an ad for New Coke.
Dude, where is the new Coke? I've been looking all over for this.
Unfortunately, I've only seen it online, and I'm all for them trying to make money off the tie-in, but it's like a $20, $25 pack.
What?
Like you get so many bottles of Coke, cans of Coke, and a couple things like a Stranger Things tie-in.
Yes.
And then they have what is a pretty cool Coke T-shirts.
There's the Soul Calibur. It just smashed.
But I mean, I'm all for like them bringing it back and putting it on the shelves in the store. I would buy that 100 times over. I hate having to go buy it online for $25 plus like a $10 shipping and handling fee and tax and all that.
So not to interrupt, check this out. So now for the ending of this game here, now depending on your character's motivation, your character will either get the Soul Edge or the Soul Calibur. But here, since Siegfried is basically the main character, he's going to he already has the Soul Edge, so he's seeking the Soul Calibur to destroy the Soul Edge so he can stop being insane and killing people. And what he's going to end up doing is chucking the Soul Edge into a ditch and then spending his life guarding it to make sure no one else can get the sword. Which you'd think is really tragic, but, in the third game and fourth game, he ends up coming back because, that tends to happen with sequels.
I keep a good thing down.
Yeah, I know. All right. And the cool thing about this game is, much like Tekken 4, you got really cool artwork to accompany the graphics. And this is kind of more stylized, muted sepia artwork, which is some good stuff. So,
Congratulations.
Is that it? Nice. Okay. So, there we have it, guys. That is our lengthy but hilarious review and commentary on Soul Calibur 2 for the Mountain Dew Xbox. So, Peter, thanks for stopping by.
No problem. I know I will go pick up a nice, refreshing bottle of Mountain Dew.
Not New Coke, because you can't get that in stores.
Right. I mean,
You have to order it on a full moon.
By the time it gets to your house, it wouldn't be ice cool and refreshing.
No, that's you know what's such nonsense? Pepsi, for the last 2 summers, says Crystal Pepsi out in the stores. Which, incidentally, I also can't find that, which is upsetting.
I don't think they're doing it this year.
That is such nonsense. Crystal Pepsi's delicious and nutritious, so you need to get that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But yes, New Coke. Please get in stores.
They'll be around forever.
Yes.
I can't do my Cosby impression.
No, not anymore.
That's terrible.
And 2019.
Bill, you've
Make good decisions, kids. So
That's
that way
right.
we can imitate you later.
Stay in school, and don't do bad things.
do that.
All right.
It's like what these people do. Don't do
Just
that.
don't do.
Yeah,
don't do anything celebrities do. They're not good people.
Except send us New Coke.
Except Bobby Bonilla. He's fantastic, and he deserves every penny until 2099 is when he should be getting paid.
Right, yeah. I don't know what we're going to do with him after 2035.
He's going to be, he's going to put his brain in a robot body. And
General manager of the Mets and a robot body.
Yeah, he'll be like Cyborg on Teen Titans, but Bobby Bonilla.
I don't know how many home runs he can hit as a cyborg.
We'll see what the future holds. And on that note, actually, we need to. There's a game like that on Neo Geo, but we'll talk about that another time.
We're going to roll out
We
Bobby
will.
Bonilla another day.
Bobby Bonilla's Cyberball for the SNK Neo Geo. Keep an eye on it. It's
Bobby
coming soon.
Bonilla 3000.
That's right. Absolutely. All right, until next time, guys, my name is Noel, and this is Peter, and Santino's sleeping, and we will see you all later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.